Okay, something a little bit different this week. What we've got here is the IAR 81C. Okay, blank expressions across half the community, and half of you go, God, I've been waiting for them for ages. Personally, I'm with the first half with this one, if I'm honest. I don't know the aircraft very well at all. Azure anyway, this is the 132nd kit of this one, and we've got a beautiful reference book as well, which we'll look at in a moment. So if we have a look at the kit first, as you can see, beautiful box art on the front. We've got, sorry it's all loose in here, the actual call-outs for the actual colour schemes you've got down here. A little bit onto it, as you can see, the box, it was 45 quid. Okay. Usual thing about kit making and all of that. So what do we get in the box? Now, as I said, this isn't my kit, so it's been lent it for review. And trying to get it out of the box is somewhat of an absolute headache. There we go. So down in here, if we have a look through the instructions first, so we've got some pack of decals and some bits and pieces. So I don't know much about the kit, if I'm honest. I don't know much about the manufacturer or anything else, so we're going to do it on its own merits today, because purely, as I say, I don't know a great deal about it. So, as you can see, you've got the tree call-outs and the parts and everything else going through. We've got a little bit of photo etch, the clear parts, and some other little bits down in there. Quite nicely done, because it's all colour sort of exploded diagrams. If I actually run it over here, we can do it on this camera. With all the little parts down in there, as you can see, some nice colour call-outs, calling out in the actual guns colour range, and nobody else's, so you'll have to do your cross-reference on that one. And as I say, we seem to have, so you've got framework going in, usual thing, looks like it's probably photo etched parts for the flaps and areas like that. And then as we're working our way right the way down in here, you've got, imagine, wing section, fuselage going together. It's pretty quick build, but then we've got some nice detailing around this engine, plenty of parts going down in here to add some very nice detail. We'll have to see if this gets covered up. So you can actually do it, it looks like, with the covers on or off, so it's nice you'll be able to see the engine. And again, some very nice details going on top. So it looks like we've got a basic kit with all the little bits added onto it. And then going through a little bit more about the undercarriage going in, and then obviously the aircraft itself, very colourful markings with this yellow with over the green going in there. And as you can see, very nicely done all over, all the different markings you can imagine in there, and then some of the other one as well. As I said, we've spoken about limited run kits before. You get some very bad ones, you get some very good ones. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what we've got here. So starting off on the wing fold, limited action, limited run kits. Basically what that means is that they're not mass produced like Tamiya, FX, Hasegawa, things like that. Literally it's a shorter run, so there may be only like a run of 500 or 1,000, something else like that. Because of the run length, obviously the quality of the sprue tends to be not as good as in the layout. So sometimes you get chunky joins on there, you get little bits of flash and stuff like that. That's because it's a limited run kit. Also the other thing, sometimes things like locating tabs don't really have them and things like that, because they're sort of engineering parts which sort of take it up to the next level. But certainly over recent years we've seen quite a sort of comeback of sort of limited run kits, bringing out some really good standard stuff. Now here we go. So I don't know if you can see that, or hopefully you can see it. We've got this texturing and everything going down on here. Not exactly the best in the world. Now, I don't think that's so much scraping on plastic and things like that. I think that's just generally the texture of the mold. Sometimes what happens is that more expensive kits, shall we say, polish the molds before there's actually plastic goes into there. Other ones are sort of machined and they're left. This definitely hasn't been polished by the looks of it, but what it does give you though, as you can see, is absolute stunning recessed detail right the way through here. Some extremely fine riveting. This is all riveting down here. It's very nice indeed, and as you can see from the bottom wing half, it's one complete lump. Okay, right the way through, it's got extremely nice riveting detail, so you've got a nice mixture of raised and recessed detail, but the entire thing, in fact we can do a little test on this, cotton bud test. If I come along here and pull this over, you might be able to hear, as we're doing it, this is a flat area here, you can hear it it's extremely rough, and it will probably catch, I would have thought, fibres off of cotton buds. So it may need a small little sand over before you sort of run around with it. What we're talking about here, we've got no ejector pins really massively out. You can see they're all a little bit heavy. This one here I'll take care of. You're going to have to take them out, but that's the thing, you're going to get ejector pins, and there is no locating pins either whilst we're on the same subject. So these down in here, you might need to take some of these out to get a nice fit down. Should be okay, but as I said, these are just the little things you put up with. But on the other hand, we've got the control surfaces, so we've got some nice detailing going down in here with these recesses and everything else like that. This mould is a lot smoother, it's not as rough as the other one, but as you can see, it doesn't look too bad at all. Some quite nice parts down in there on the inside. Again, you know, you're going to have to take care of these before you come in, but this is a limited run kit. You do pay a little bit more for limited run kits purely because there isn't zillions of them kicking around to get the money back on the actual mould, so that's the only drawback to it. But back down here on the fuselage, again, a little bit crude, a little bit rough, shall we say, but it's adequate, it'll be fine. This sort of working here on the top, catch it in the light, but it just looks a little bit rough. Not too bad. The actual cowl sections and everything else seem to be pretty nice, no problem with those at all. We've got some nice details down on the inside here. You know, again, the ejector pin marks around here. Things like this guy at the back, you probably see he's hanging right over, you're going to have to take care of, sand down and everything else, but generally it's not too bad, it's okay. I've seen worse limited run kits, it's just that you don't have that crispness, the texture and everything else. So down here on the actual sprue, we've got the small parts, we've got no real flash anywhere, which is quite a nice touch. The detail's pretty good, there's no real burring on any of the parts. That is, you know, a couple of swipes of the sanding stick wouldn't take care of, but you can see, considering they're very small parts, they're not too bad at all. Okay, and here we are on the back side, no problems with that, but you say no flash, no problems that really sort of jump out and get you. So unfortunately we've got a broken part there. But on this guy, if we just do it in two halves, as you can see, we've got these cylinder heads, nice little touch, very clean, very sharp moulding and everything else like that as it goes around. A little bit of flash around the wheels, but you're going to be sanding them anyway. Okay, the actual gear, there's a little bit of burring down there from both sides of the actual mould where it's sandwiched together, but that's quite easy to take care of. Okay, and here we are on the other side, on the blind side. Again, you're going to have to take care of some of these lumps and bumps in here, but generally pretty good all over. Can't complain about it. Now, limited run kits, where it falls short on perhaps the crispness and the detail and all the little pieces, what you normally get, and you do with this one, is a little bit of resin. So down here we've got the exhausts, we won't get them out, they're not hollow, but they've got a nice sort of divot into those, which is quite a nice touch, and all the parts there, it's got a little bit of resin just to liven it all up. And we will have, somewhere, here it is, we've got a little bit of photo etch, you know, just for harnesses, some of that detail around the engine and the various parts, so that's quite nice. Okay, now the clear parts, these sometimes is where it falls flat on its face. As I say, it's not my kit this, so we'll be a little bit delicate how we get this out. But that looks pretty good. So hopefully you can see, we're not too bad, especially after recent ones. As I say, I won't take too much about that warpage, I think that's just generally everything else. I'll just hold it up to the light. That's nice and clear, no problem with that at all. Plenty of texture on the blind side, which is obviously not the clear part, but certainly the clear part itself is absolutely crystal clear. Got no problems with those at all, they are absolutely lovely. A couple of little lights on there as well, so that's a very nice touch. Okay, so if we just pop that down in there. Okay, and these decals, which to be honest I'm not going to get them out, they look very nice, I can't see any problem. There's no massive carrier film around there, they seem to all be in register and absolutely everything. As I say, it's not my kit to pull apart really on this one, but certainly does look the part. Quite a nice touch. Now normally that would be brilliant and good enough for most of us, but what you actually get, and especially for someone like me who doesn't know about the aircraft, you can also buy this little guy. This is separate, doesn't come with a kit, but this is a book completely about it. And earlier in the show we saw the one on the 190. Well, this is from a different guy. This is from, is that Radu Brinsnen? Sorry, I probably just mutilated your name. Quite a nice one actually, because this one's a signed copy. Again, it's not mine, but We just center it up, but as you can see, this is all about the IAR 80 and the 81 versions. And again, if you don't know about a subject and you like your history, you like your your knowledge of aviation, things like that, these are absolutely beautiful books. So going right the way through, obviously completely from its development, the very early stages, you can imagine, beautiful drawings and photographs and everything else like that. These are obviously the original artwork ones, I presume. And then obviously we've got the profiles, which is a lovely shot as well. And then going through all these different versions. So this is like versions 21 to 50 in this particular configuration as you're working your way down 51 to 75. So you don't get many books that do that. But you can see we've got great reference shots with all the different versions and how they went through. And it's quite nice when you see ones like that, like have crashed and been in accidents as well, so it gives you great ideas for dioramas. But as you can see, this is another extremely comprehensive book that talks about every single different version of this particular aircraft, going all the way through. And as you can see, you get some beautiful photos. Just have to show you that one on close up. That's an absolutely stunning photo, so clear. And again, it's a crash one, which makes for a nice diorama. Okay, but as we're seeing, absolutely lovely all the way through here. We'll just skip through a little bit quicker, see if we can find anything. But all these different modifications, the two-seat trainer version there, nice touch. Again, having the profile drawing goes along with it, that if you wanted to do a conversion, scratch building, things like that, absolutely beautiful. Absolutely love this type of stuff. This is absolutely fantastic. These are obviously the original drawings for the aircraft, okay, with all the call outs for them each side as well. That's absolutely beautiful to see that. And now we're really getting into the details of things. We just show you on the close-up. Absolutely beautiful. So if you do fancy doing your scratch building, having a project, something going on, then obviously that's definitely for you. Again, absolutely lovely to see these with the actual instrument panels showing about all the bezels and everything else and the dials, exactly how they look. So if you want it to be completely accurate, right the way through to the actual headrests. I know they're armoured on these. Right the way through, showing the wing spars. And as I say, these are these levels of detail that is your next level on. But if you've just generally got an interest in aviation, engineering, history, things like that, it's a beautiful reference books to have. But as I say, showing the engine there right the way through, the actual gear, the mechanics of it all. Literally you could build the real thing from this. And now the guns. So we're talking about the Brownings, the actual aircraft carried, and in here, and some obviously colour photos in the rear of the book, and even talks about the dimensions for the markings to actually get them spot on, which you can see is another lovely little touch, and absolutely fantastic. So there we go. If you want reference books, obviously we've covered a few today. This was absolutely fantastic. It's by the Aviation Guild. Absolutely beautiful done. It's through Sam Publications anyway, so you can pick it up from your local retailers and your usual online sources for those. So there we go. That's absolutely fun. Fantastic. Sorry, bad back today. So as you say, something a little bit different with some great references. You can turn out an absolutely amazing kit. So if you are in the market for an IAR 81C in 1/32, this is probably the only way you can go.